Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Shalhoub. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, the Oscars went off without a hitch, so congratulations on your big win, La La Land. Plus, Donald Trump says he'll be skipping the White House Correspondents' Dinner. In retrospect, calling the press the enemy of the American people might have been a sign this was going to happen. And finally, a pot-friendly gym gets set to open in San Francisco. I guess that's one way to keep the equipment costs down. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. Her smile is more infectious than the flu. Entertainment correspondent Jill Dobson. I've watched his movies, and believe me, they're up to snuff. They're up to snuff films. Associate editor for Reason.com and director of the new film Sidewalk Traffic, Anthony L. Fisher. Next on Kim Jong-un's hit list, Observer columnist Michael Malice. He cracked corn, and I do care. Sitting right next to me, comedian Jimmy Fallon. Okay, let's start the show. The Oscars this year were pretty light on political speeches, a sign, I think, that Hollywood is warming up to President Trump. The nearly 4-hour broadcast Sunday night was like the Super Bowl, boring until the last 5 minutes or so. Yes, there was a small hiccup at the end.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture.
It was one of the great live TV moments in history, and a disaster for PricewaterhouseCoopers, which oversees the voting. The accounting firm apologized late Sunday night, explaining the presenters had mistakenly been given the wrong category envelope, and when discovered, was immediately corrected. We are currently investigating how this could have happened. Jill, how could this have happened?
I don't think they immediately corrected the problem. They let at least 3 people give long thank you speeches to their wives, their families, and then they're like, oh, wait, hold on. So I just wish someone would have sprinted out on stage the minute they said it and been like, wait, stop the presses.
Yeah, but don't you think he made up for it by leaning into the mic and saying, this is not a joke, in a scolding fashion?
No, the guy who did that actually handled it really well, because he's the one who just gave a thank you speech. He's from La La Land, and he's like, wait a minute, it's not a joke. He holds up the card.
Oh, because because he's from La La Land, it was okay too.
Yeah, he was trying to communicate to everyone, this is real. And then he said, I'm happy to give it to my friends at Moonlight. He handled it pretty well, considering. I would have just been standing there, mouth agape, like, what?
I mean, that's what, did you see the audience, the reverse shot, Anthony?
Yeah.
They were definitely, they didn't know what to do.
I mean, Shirley MacLaine's reaction was my favorite. She literally had a jaw drop moment, and she's
like, bro.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And poor Warren Beatty is 79 years old and an all-time legend, and this is going to be in his epitaph, you know, that he misread this.
Well, look, he misread, he misbehaved. Did you see what he did? He sloughed it off on Faye Dunaway.
I think he thought whatever the receptors in his eyes and brain weren't connecting, and he needed a second opinion. And Faye Dunaway just saw La La Land, didn't even notice that there was an actress's name on there, and she just went for it.
Wow. Oh, that's. I mean,
it's like Anchorman. You know how in Anchorman he just reads whatever's in front of him.
Yes.
She saw the word La La Land. She's like, I'm an actor. I read a script. I'm going to say La La Land.
She read it in a wonderful fashion. But I blame. I'm not going to, like Anthony, I'm not going to let off Warren Beatty. First of all, Michael, shouldn't they just not let old people do the reading of these things?
Well, you know, I should feel bad for Warren Beatty, because inside scoop, after the show, Faye Dunaway beat him practically to death with the wire hanger. So he got his comeuppance. You know what's really funny? The whole plot of last night's show was supposed to be today. We're all going to be talking about how Trump got destroyed, right?
Yeah.
And all we're talking about is these are the people who are going to take down the man who controls the FBI, CIA, IRS, and armed forces. They are incompetents. They can't get their crap together, and this is hilarious. So when La La Land lost yesterday, and by La La Land I mean Los Angeles, and by Los Angeles I mean hopefully my neighbors in the FEMA camps will be nice to me when that happens next year.
It's Jimmy. PricewaterhouseCoopers, they're very reputable, but these big firms, they just keep messing up. right?
Yeah, to his point, Hollywood's a bunch of jackasses. Like, you're telling us how to run the country. You can't run an award show. Not only did they screw up this, they had a living woman in the death montage.
Yeah.
Did you know that? They had a living woman in the death montage.
They got the name right, they got her face wrong.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of death montages, did you see Faye Dunaway's face, by the way? No, I love her. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Then why are you slandering her on television?
I've seen younger faces on Money.
She
is man. Do you mean JFK?
I love her. And I love
Faye Dunaway, she looks great, I think.
Yeah, no, she looked all right. I mean, Beatty looked disturbing. I mean, to his point, too. Warren Beatty.
Beatty?
Baby.
I thought I was the immigrant here.
Beatty? Listen, this is not the worst.
He's a BD. He was a BT.
Listen, this isn't the worst getting a name wrong of the week by any stretch. And by the way, I mean, the guy slept with 10,000 women. I'm sure it's not the first time he's called out the wrong name. You know what I mean?
Have you?
Every
Have
year.
you?
No, I'm pretty.
Every year they make a spectacle out of these PricewaterhouseCoopers accountants coming
with
out
the briefcases.
with the briefcases handcuffed to them. Like they make a big show of like how tight they run this ship. And I can't remember who reported it, but one of the two accountants who was in charge of the envelopes apparently was tweeting pictures with celebrities backstage all night. Clearly distracted and gave out one of the wrong envelopes.
He was. He was hobnobbing with the celebrities, and it caused him to screw up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just saying these actors are used to reading scripts. I think if someone who works in live TV, had been handed it, you would have been like, it says Emma Stone. I don't.
Yeah.
You would have
I always. I mean,
I
got to be ready to go, no matter what my notes say.
If it said Mel Gibson, we wouldn't be in this trouble right now because nobody would have made that mistake.
But think about this. Imagine they gave it to Moonlight first.
Oh, God.
And they had to take it away from a black cast.
Yeah.
Imagine the
How
Twitter
American would that be?
activism going on right now.
You
Twitter
are
would just
right.
explode.
There were conspiracy theories, but let me move on here. One of Jimmy Kimmel's bits Sunday night got very mixed reactions on social media. The host had a bus full of unsuspecting tourists stop by.
Hold on a second. Hello there. Hi. Welcome to the Dolby Theater. Let me give you a little tour. This is Nicole Kidman. Fun fact, she was discovered in Redondo Beach. There's Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux. Jen, do you have a wedding gift for them? Maybe you could give them something from your purse. How about those sunglasses, Jen? You don't need those. It's dark. All right. There we go. Isn't that nice? Isn't she the sweetest? There you go. Okay, great.
Jill, was this like people said online they were making fun of regular, average people?
I had no problem with it. The people online trolling about this need to relax. I mean, this was, how awesome would it be if you want to go on a tour of Hollywood and you actually get walked into the Oscars and get to meet all the celebrities who you were just hoping to see, like,
They loved it.
Yeah, a set that Nicole worked on once. No, you get to actually meet Nicole Kidman.
It was
awesome.
fantastic. Yes, and Anthony, this is what Jimmy Kimmel does on his show. He loves kind of doing, you know, it's like a surprise party. It's fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's done some mean-spirited stuff in his career, but this was not one of them. This was kid glove stuff. This was adorable. This was Ellen DeGeneres level, safe as milk kind of comedy.
Well, you don't think it was, you know, kind of the elitist, like, oh, look, we're kind of looking at regular Americans like they're at a museum or something?
There was a bit of that, but it wasn't done in a way that was like, you don't belong here. It was kind of like, hey, you guys won the lottery tonight. You guys get to, you know, take a selfie with Denzel Washington.
Fantastic, and they loved it, right, Michael?
They loved it. Here's what I think was happening. The essayist Paul Graham had a great piece called What You Can and Cannot Say. He wrote this years ago. And his whole point is that moral fashions are just like clothing fashions. And people in Hollywood, they're just puppets made out of meat whose job it is to repeat lines others written for them. And the lesson yesterday was supposed to be Trump's the enemy, immigrants, Islam, Middle East.
Yes.
And when you have this moment of levity, which breaks the fourth wall, which introduces a new element, it's getting them off the script. And now they don't know what to do because they're all supposed to be on the same page attacking Trump and wringing their hands over this travel ban. And now the message is completely different and they're freaking out.
Wow.
That's what I think happened.
That is meat puppets. What do you think of that?
That's funny. This bit was completely staged, by the way.
Wait.
Like, how is no one talking about that? That was the patronizing part of this bit.
Hold on,
is
what?
that we as TV viewers were supposed to believe that these people who were standing outside the theater where the Oscars are being held have no idea the Oscars are going on, let let alone that there's 400 cameras. Have you been to the Dolby Theater?
Have you been on the streets? Have you seen who's walking around?
No, I understand that. No,
Do you?
They were brought in the back door.
Yeah, well, they showed you them being brought in the back door. They didn't show you them outside the theater, because outside that door in the Dolby Theater, you're in the hall that goes into the Oscars. Yeah. Literally, cameras everywhere. It was completely fake.
But they're not savvy Hollywood insiders like you, Jimmy.
That didn't know.
You
if
can
they were
tell
just,
them.
you know, you hear 1,000 people laughing in a room. I mean, to me, the best part of the whole show was when they dropped the candy from the ceiling and none of the actresses knew what it was. They're like, this was called food.
Well, the reactions to that, I was saying that they were like, how much did Big Candy pay for this, propaganda?
Yeah, placement, product placement.
True mints.
Joke.
Wow, you are cynical, Jimmy. Okay, the controversial.
Jimmy does crack corn.
Yeah,
He does care.
He does care.
Candy cares.
The controversial tour bus bit even had a separate controversy. Kimmel was criticized for his jokes about the names of two non-white people. First, he drew laughs from Oscar winner Mahershala Ali's name.
And on the count of 3, we'll turn the lights on and everybody yell Mahershala, okay? 3, 2, 1. Mahershala!
Then there was this interaction.
What's your name?
My name is Yulary.
What?
Rhymes with jewelry.
Your name's Yulary?
Yeah, rhymes with jewelry.
Well, I know it rhymes with jewelry. Wow, that's some name. And what's your name?
My name is Patrick.
See, that's a name. All right.
The New York Times reported on Twitter, several people said making fun of non-white names, far from simple middle school bullying, serves to otherize them.
Oh, God.
Here's one tweet. Patrick, that's a name because white names are real names. He can get all the way out of here with that casual racism. That's right, Jimmy.
You showed him.
Patrick, well, Patrick is a name. He was right.
He did nail that part of it. He's 50-50. Anybody getting mad about this or furthering this controversy is an oxygen thief. You're really just the worst, just the bottom of the bottom, the dopiest of the dopey. Here's the thing about comedy. When you make fun of protected classes,
right,
you are including them. You're not excluding them. You're treating them like an equal to everyone else in the room. Hey, we're going to make fun of the straight white men. We're going to make fun of the lesbians, or the gays, Latinos. We're going to do the whole thing. You know, when you do what they do, which is give them the little pat on the head of, oh, but we won't joke about you because you're from a protected class or a different ethnicity, they're infantilizing these people. It's not him. He's just doing tough love comedy, which I thought was funny.
Ah, just doing crowd work, right,
Listen,
Michael?
I'm an immigrant. I don't even really know what my first name is because it's in Russian, and my parents always called me by diminutive, and then I took it to Michael when I came to America and used an English name. So there's absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, do you think this guy with the weird name didn't grow up knowing it's a weird name? It's part of your personality. It's part of your character.
Right, that's why she said rhymes with jewelry.
The villains are the people who are getting offended on their behalf.
Yes.
Because they're busybodies with nothing to do with their lives. They can't be good people themselves, so they have to find ways to do good on behalf of others. They're just horrible, reprehensible people.
The worst.
Wow.
This all started in 1995 with David Letterman's Oprah thing at the Oscars.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And it's continued to Gwyneth Paltrow's kids, Gwen Stefani's kids, anything that's, you know, out of the norm.
They have weird names, though.
Yeah, they do have weird names.
And she gave them weird names.
And they happen to be, you know, well, Oprah's not white, but the rest of the people I just mentioned are white, and their silly names were used as comedic grist at the Oscars.
That's right. Jill, why can't white people get some weird names?
I know a lot of people with weird names.
Have you met Frank
Regardless
Zappa's
of
kids?
gender. Yeah, definitely.
You're right.
Yeah, doesn't every kid, I mean, at the playground, every kid is like, you know, some president's last name. It's like,
that's right.
Kennedy, I'll make fun of Kennedy. She can handle it.
She can,
Kennedy,
but the thing is,
Washington, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like,
but isn't it people, you know,
and these are girls.
They don't mind. You know, he wasn't saying nah, 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 nah. You know, he was just saying you have a funny name.
Are they going to bleep you?
I think they did.
Hold on.
It's a classic old taunt thing.
No holds barred tonight.
It seems like people want to get mad so badly that now they're trying to get mad on behalf of other people who aren't mad.
Who's laughing?
Anything, Yulary just loved to be in there and enjoyed meeting Jennifer Aniston and getting her sunglasses.
Who doesn't
Mahershala
enjoy
Ali was enjoying getting an Oscar.
meeting
all that
Jennifer Aniston? It's so true. Another black tie news. This year's White House Correspondents Association dinner will be short one president. On Saturday, President Trump tweeted that he wouldn't attend, making him the first commander-in-chief to skip it since Ronald Reagan back in 1981, not long after he was shot.
And he phoned in.
He did phone in?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders explained the obvious reason why Trump doesn't like the press and the press doesn't like Trump.
I think it's kind of naive of us to think that we can all walk into a room for a couple of hours and pretend that some of that tension isn't there. You know, one of the things we say in the South, if a Girl Scout egged your house, would you buy cookies from her? I think that this is a pretty similar scenario.
Sanders went on to say that instead of hobnobbing with celebs, Trump will spend that night focusing on protecting borders, national security, and growing the economy. Or to use a phrase I just made up, making America great again.
I like that. It's got a ring to it, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Michael.
To answer her question, she'd clearly buy the cookies.
Would you? Yes.
I mean, we saw her.
And that's totally not a sin.
Going hard tonight. Hold on. Going hard.
And Dad, too.
The Huckabee family has a lot of great old sayings, and I love them all. So the Girl Scouts, if they egg your house, you're not going to buy the cookies from them, but you might buy them from another Girl Scout, right?
Well, the thing is, Trump has been mocking the press for a long time now. He's joked about executing them. Why would he sit there and be a punching bag when he can just be making shots at them all the time? And this is part of the intentional move on behalf of Bannon and other people to separate out the political class and the media class, and that's a very healthy thing for our country.
Ah, is it healthy, Anthony?
Well, I mean, I despise the nerd prom, and if Trump brings about it, no, I've never been invited. I've never really cared. But
you're mad.
I don't care.
Anywho, the thing is,
I don't want to have a date.
Trump's short-sightedness here is that the presidents usually end up coming off better than the media at these things, but Trump is incapable of delivering a joke. And so that's why I think he's sitting this one out, because even with the best writers available to him, he wouldn't win that room.
You know, Jill, I never liked the sight of the president sitting there getting roasted at these things, because I guess years ago it used to be, roasts, they were a little more fun-loving. But especially, I didn't like watching Bush have to sit there and be attacked for the whole dinner and have him pretend to be dignified. It wasn't dignified. The whole dinner was horrible.
Yeah, roasts are a little awkward. That's not my favorite kind of humor.
You don't love roasts?
No, I'm not a big fan of the roast. But I do think there's something about getting made fun of and being able to laugh about it. I grew up with big brothers. If they weren't making fun of me, they were ignoring me. So love equals mockery. I think you got to be able to take it with a grain of salt.
You know, you were on the show Friday, and you demanded to be on the show Monday. You said,
I make a lot of demands.
I
also asked to be thanked several times at the end of the show. And it never happened. So tonight I want to be thanked.
I will. In fact, tonight I will thank you 4 times instead of introducing the whole panel.
Perfect.
At minimum.
Jimmy, what of this? I mean, the White House Correspondents Association dinner, should we just can the whole thing?
It's kind of stupid. I mean, I think the real reason he's not going is they don't serve McDonald's. He likes his, the guy likes his filet fish.
He could get it if he wanted.
Well, no, if I was him, I would go, and I would just play the video of the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner, where he was in the audience.
Yeah.
And they took a dump on him from start to finish.
That's right.
Seth Meyers, Obama, everybody there.
Which he claimed in his book that he loved.
And
that he loved that.
Yeah, he loved it so much he ran for president and turned the country on its
Well,
head.
do you believe that story? Tell the story that his roasting, many people say that that's what made him decide to run for president.
Absolutely. No, he's great. I want him to stay home and live tweet it, which is what I think is going to happen. It's going to be way funnier than the show. But he should play the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner and then cut to the clip of Obama on the Jimmy Kimmel Mean Tweets saying, at least I'll go down as a president, and dropping the mic.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a perfect set.
Why don't we see that clip?
Video?
Why don't we see that clip over and over again?
That's all we should be watching. That should be the new Yule log. It just brings in such good cheer. Even if you don't like him, you watch that and you're like, oh, it's amazing.
It'll be the only thing on TV.
I don't like the dropping of. I think we have to stop this dropping of microphones. These are expensive pieces of audio equipment. I don't like dropping mics. They have people in commercials dropping mics now.
Guitars?
I don't like that either. Well. Don't smash your guitars. Don't drop your trumpet, and don't drop the mic. I don't like it. Coming up, I give President Trump a rare piece of my mind. You'll get that pun after the break. It appears that President Trump has finally crossed the line. He's done something that no American can defend. He orders his steak well done. According to the Independent Journal Review, on Saturday night, the president ordered a well-done New York strip steak with ketchup at the BLT Steakhouse in D.C. I'll defend our president when it's justified, but this is unforgivable. You may think I'm overreacting, but Mr. Trump told me he understands steaks.
And believe me, I understand steaks. It's my favorite food.
No one who understands steaks orders them well done. Even his own commercials call for Trump steaks to have delicious, juicy steaks cooked to medium perfection. Mr. President, I was okay when you ate fried chicken with a fork. I could even look past you eating pizza with a fork. But ordering steak well done is beyond the pale. Jill, steak well done, it's the worst thing Trump has done.
Yeah, I think he wants to say, I do everything well. My steak is well done. Like he's doing something here.
That is good, and that's a very good Trump.
Yeah, I wanted to come back on the show tonight because I didn't get to show that.
That was the reason?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're being thanked right now by me.
To quote Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull, a well-done steak defeats its own purpose.
There you go. I knew I heard that somewhere.
Boom. He flips out.
But
flips the table over.
What do you think it is? I mean, obviously he likes quality things, or he likes the best of things, and he's gonna have good food put in front of him. Why would he want a well-done steak?
I don't know that he does like good things. I think he likes being very rich and having a huge bubble of wealth around him. But he's eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's not that good. There's better fried chicken out there than Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But when you want KFC or when you want a Big Mac, you get it, and that's what Trump does.
Yeah, no, he's living his own dream. I don't have any doubt of that.
Exactly.
But I would say, they say youth is wasted on the young. He's proof that wealth is wasted on the wealthy.
You know what? I have a theory, but I'm not going to say it. What do you think it is, Michael?
If you look at the decor in his home with the gilding everywhere and these Louis XIV chairs, it's obvious the man just likes things tasteless. and of course, if you're going to be burning your enemies all day on Twitter, you're going to like your meat overcooked. But I will defend the ketchup. Ketchup, along with pink bubblegum ice cream and certain other things, is the perfect food.
What?
So anything becomes a delivery vehicle for ketchup.
Really?
You're now
the lead suspect in every missing child case in the tri-state area.
Never convicted.
Not that
convicted.
Not that you weren't already.
The perfect white is white wine, the Dahmer brand. Mwah.
Jimmy,
we call it veal.
I don't know about that bubblegum ice cream thing, but
it's the Baskin-Robbins. You can only get it in the summer, and you have to go to every Baskin-Robbins because some of them don't carry it.
As the three of us slide out of the frame.
Yeah, we're just like, we're going to go home now.
And then you're
very specific.
Jimmy, I need to get your take on this.
Yes.
You know a good steak, don't you?
I do. I'm 93% body fat. I'd like to think I'm an aficionado. First of all, I'm happy we have a president who's allowed to eat steak. You think Michelle was letting Barry anywhere near red meat? That's why he aged so bad during those 8 years. The guy wasn't allowed to have dessert.
You know, he did a whole pageant with Brian Williams going to Five Guys Burgers.
He spit that stuff
That's
out.
right.
He spit that out. Listen.
He liked the burgers.
We were in a no-win situation this whole election. Trump burnt his steak. Hillary burnt her server. It wasn't going to end good.
Oh.
See what I did there?
No, I don't.
I took the 8th burn joke off of you.
No, well, we got to mention the server at some point in the show, and so you got to
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Look, no one has my theory. No one knows what it is. He's a germaphobe. He's afraid of getting strychnine, or what do you get from meat?
Salmonella?
Salmonella. He's afraid of food poisoning. He does not want to, doesn't like to.
Do you blame him? Everyone's threatening to kill him.
Yeah.
Is ketchup a natural antibiotic?
It's just as high in antioxidants
well done.
as vinegar.
Did anyone not see through that ploy when he made Chris Christie have the meatloaf with him?
Boy, yeah.
You don't have to
the
make
meatloaf.
Oh, come on, you don't have to make Chris Christie have
I
anything.
understand that, but he was definitely testing it. Because he's like, they'll have whatever. Chris will have what I'm having first.
Times 10.
That's a total ploy.
Taster, it's unbelievable. Coming up, halftime of TV's Andy Levy. And be sure to check out the Red Eye podcast. Available now. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy over in the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. Let's talk some Oscars, shall we?
Yeah.
Jill, first of all, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a while.
Appreciate it.
Missed you guys. I'm glad to be back.
Good to see you. Good to see you back. You said you wish someone would have sprinted out on stage with the correction.
Yeah.
Well, as Anthony alluded to, the Wall Street Journal reported that the PricewaterhouseCoopers guy, Brian Cullinan, who apparently gave the wrong envelope to Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
He was taking selfies with Emma Stone 3 minutes before that. So he, exactly.
I'm sorry, Andy, I'm sorry.
Yes.
What?
No, my point is that much like you, he apparently had better things to do than actually his job.
Then focus on the television program.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. 3 minutes.
Apparently.
It's criminal.
Yeah.
Andy, I heard he deleted the tweet, too.
Oh, did he?
He deleted the selfie.
Multiple tweets.
No, that was probably a wise thing to do. Tom, you said Warren Beatty slopped it off on Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
I agree with Anthony, though. I think he was confused, and then he showed her the envelope, like, what's going on here? And then she saw La La Land, and she was just like, La La Land.
Yeah.
I don't think he meant to slop it off on her.
I think he should step it up, and it's because he's not the head of that household, and Annette Bening is.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlton Heston would not have made that mistake.
He wouldn't have.
No.
From his cold, dead hands, he would not have.
Right,
Cold, dead hands.
Yep. If he said La La Land, they were getting that off.
That's Moses. You don't argue with Moses.
Absolutely. Malice, you said the plot of the Oscars was supposed to be that today we'd all be talking about how they took down Trump. The show wasn't even super political. I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't.
I mean, there was some stuff.
I just got the memo.
Yeah, it was just nowhere near what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be out of control, and it really wasn't.
Well, that's to their credit, but even that little bit of now just got completely overshadowed, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's true. Tom, I also kind of disagree with you that the show was boring until the last 5 minutes. I thought Kimmel did a pretty good job.
Not bad. Yeah, he's good. I didn't really believe that either. I just read the teleprompter.
I know. Fowler, you said imagine what would have happened if the situation had been reversed and Moonlight had been replaced by La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were watching and you looked away for like 30 seconds, then you looked back up, it was like a bunch of white people got replaced by a bunch of black people. It was like the alt-right's worst nightmare.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
My favorite movie my favorite points talking about the show getting political was when that one presenter said he's against building walls of any type to separate people, and then the 1,000 people with walls around their houses stood and applauded. It was a little rich.
Yeah. Also, I'm guessing there was a lot of security at the show itself.
That place? You were talking about extreme vetting?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Jill, I'm mostly with you regarding the whole bus tour thing. I think it was fine. I thought they came close to being like, hey, look at the normies, but I thought they didn't cross the line. I thought they pulled it off.
Yeah, I think they did just fine. I think those people were happy, and if they're not offended and don't feel like they've been made fun of, then we don't all have to get upset on their behalf.
Yeah. Fela, you said you think the whole thing was staged.
Yes.
I don't agree with you, but if it was, the people playing the tourists were the best actors in the house.
They were by far. Yeah. It was actually nice to see people who dressed better than Casey Affleck, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they looked credible.
Yeah.
But they did look pretty at ease. You know, there were a couple of shocked people, but the way it was cast, so perfectly diverse. With the men, there was like an Asian woman, a couple of black people, there was a couple Indian people. Like, it looked like it was very strategic.
You know what it looked like?
What?
It looked like America.
Hey, there it is. It looked like every college brochure you've ever seen. And I would have given them so much more credit if they just brought in the regular Metro bus.
Yeah.
So we got the dandruff-eating cat lady and the masturbating wino. That's a good bit.
Can you stop referring to me as that?
Sorry.
I'm not a wino.
Love them.
Hey, Malice, you said your parents used a diminutive to describe you?
Correct.
Was it Misha?
No.
Oh, okay.
Close though.
I was just curious. Trump is skipping the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So this whole, if a Girl Scout eggs your house, you're not going to buy cookies from her. If they're Thin Mints, I might. Honestly. Thin Mints are good.
You sound like Mike Huckabee.
What? My understanding, by the way, is Trump is not attending the dinner because they could not guarantee his steak would be well done.
Boom.
Jill, you said there's something about being able to take being made fun of. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just spitball this and say that's not Trump's greatest strength.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But Mr. Trump, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just confirming.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Trump is watching.
He's not watching.
We're
He
on
turns
Fox
off.
News
We've
right
been
now.
through this.
Hello, Mr. President.
He
Thank
turns
you for
off the
tuning
show
in.
during the halftime report.
Oh, that's right.
We have been through this. We have evidence of this.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. Okay.
Tom, you said don't smash your guitars, don't drop your trumpet, and don't drop your mic.
Yeah.
Are a lot of people doing trumpet drops these days?
Yeah. And the thing is,
that thing with the kids?
The mic drop is getting so pervasive that people are dropping other things. It's horrible.
Okay. All right. I agree. You shouldn't drop trumpets.
It'll dent the rap.
Yeah, remember when they dropped Hillary into that van after she had that stroke?
You shouldn't drop Hillary's either.
September 11th.
What is wrong with your mind? That's the thing that pops into your
I
head.
have fetal alcohol syndrome.
Okay.
He's not a wino, but his mother was.
Correct. Thanks, Mom.
Trump orders his steak well done and eats it with ketchup. Tom, you said this is unforgivable.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my deal. I'm with Malice on the ketchup part. I am fine with ketchup. Ketchup is the condiment of the people. We don't need any of your fancy A1 sauce or your elitist gray poupon, you know, pardon me, sir.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Ketchup rules. I do agree the well done part is unforgivable, though.
Yeah, that's it to me, too.
Yeah.
I don't mind the ketchup or steak. I mean, I'll do a little A1 myself sometimes.
I'm sure you do.
Oh. You went from A1 to FU.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't. My dad used to use A1. I don't. It's not good.
No.
I don't keep. You know what I use is Peter Luger's has a steak sauce that I love.
My dad used to use Mom's on our Little League team. Sorry.
Oh my
It just came out. Sorry. Being silly. Did that hit home for the panel? You guys are really disturbed by that one.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. I didn't.
Men who use
Malice,
women.
what?
I was saying he had some
Some
side
men
chicks.
use women.
Mrs. Worcestershire.
Thanks for the save, by the way.
We're trying.
Anthony, you said Trump has proved that wealth is wasted on the wealthy. I agree. But I do think there has to be a psychological reason for the well done thing. Nobody chooses to eat steak well done. And I think, Tom, actually, I think you might be onto something about it being a germaphobe thing. I really do. When back in, I guess it was 1992, 93, when I was stationed at Fort Lewis, that was the Jack in the Box had the big E. coli scare.
Yep.
And there was a Jack in the Box near us, and they had like, I think it was like 10-cent burgers because they really wanted people to go in. So we were young and dumb. We were like, sure. Those things were hockey pucks.
Yeah.
They were like, they were this big and just charred. They couldn't have been any more charred.
Yeah, you have no rights as a customer at 10-cent burger place. Like, I've seen guys fighting at the Dollar Pizza store in New York.
Yeah.
I'm like, you renounced your right to quality.
Oh, no. Look, we were going to Jack in the Box in the middle of a Jack in the Box E. coli scare. It wasn't.
Funny story, his dad's name was Jack.
Hey.
You know what? I'm done.
You're done.
I don't want to be your Malice anymore.
Okay.
I farted in your chair last week.
Coming up, O.J. Simpson might be leaving the big house. See when the Jews could get loose next. O.J. Simpson could soon get the freedom he deserves. Yes, the former football star could be paroled as soon as October after serving 9 years of a 33-year sentence for kidnapping, robbery, and assault. In order to walk free, 4 out of 7 members of a parole board have to agree to let him out on good behavior. To his credit, he has kept clean, avoided gang membership, and hasn't murdered anyone in over 20 years. According to reports, if O.J. is released, he could have access to his NFL pension worth $2.7 million. And because pensions can't be touched for outstanding legal claims, the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman won't collect a dime. According to one of O.J.'s former business partners, he's convinced he'll be coming out this fall, and he is counting down the days to his hearing like a kid waiting for Christmas. No word yet if Hertz will take him back as their pitch man. What do you think, Jill?
Him running through the airport.
Yeah.
It has a different meaning when he's...
It does. You know what? Back then, you could run in airports. I don't think that's allowed anymore, is it?
Yeah, no running. No. You have to walk in a straight line.
Yeah. How's he going to adjust to the modern world?
Oh, man. The world has changed.
It's been 9 years. I always think he was put away for that murder he did, but it wasn't it, Jill. It was they got him on some kind of other scam.
Yeah, I know. That's what's interesting, is the punishment doesn't fit this particular crime for which he was convicted. Obviously, he got the book thrown at him because the judge believed that he was guilty of the murder charge.
Yeah.
So.
That's weird, though, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, Michael, it's un-American. He is serving time for the murder of his ex-wife, right?
That's what they did to Al Capone. Remember, they got him for income tax, even though they clearly were putting him away for being a gangster and multiple murderer.
Yeah, although that's pretty bad what he did. Income tax, that's no good.
According to our current president, if you don't pay your taxes, that's because you're smart, and that's absolutely true. Taxation is theft.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And let's be clear, the O.J. was was the ringleader of a group of people who held people at gunpoint and refused to let them leave a room and then stole their property.
Yeah, we've all done that.
The government
wasn't it like memorabilia or something like that?
It was, and the provenance of that memorabilia was in question, but it doesn't change the fact that he engaged in vigilante justice, which is still technically against the law in this country.
Yeah, I guess so.
Batman.
I mean, but do you think, I don't like this kind of double jeopardy thing.
Right.
So do you think he should be paroled?
Yeah, just because he was stealing baseball cards. 33 years for stealing football cards and signed footballs does seem a little excessive, and it was clearly payback. But the guy's responsible for the 2 most popular television series of the year last year. Just based on that alone, you probably let him go.
It's so true. I mean, he's back in a big way.
He's contributing. The man's contributing, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And he wants to get out there and find the real killers. How are we going to stop him from doing that? Right. You know?
That's right. How is that going, Michael? Remember he put out a, didn't he put out a bounty for the people?
Yeah,
I
heard that he's going to prove that it wasn't blood but ketchup that they found at the murder scene, because they were pretty well done, huh?
Dude, by the way,
no? I'm just trying to tie it together here.
If any of you tells a questionable joke, I ain't laughing after you jumped off the humor bus on that dad joke. Poor smoking Joe Fala.
It was a short bus.
But hold on a second. What I was going to say is...
I shut up, Jimmy Fallon.
Like
USA.
It's almost impossible to do. Now, what were you saying, Jimmy?
Well, he really got me off message there for a second.
OJ, it's about OJ.
Well, yeah, it's definitely about him. But I do think, first of all, he suffered enough having been portrayed by Cuba Gooding Jr. in that movie. That's a lot to go through.
What was most absurd about that is that Cuba Gooding Jr. is about a foot shorter than John Travolta, who was playing Robert Shapiro. And OJ is enormous, and Robert Shapiro is like Malice in but the lawyer.
Yes,
that's a Jewish reference. I'm
but
sure.
he sat down for most of the film, so you couldn't tell because he was sitting there in the chair, right?
In his sequences where he's holding court with his lawyers, Cuba's standing, screaming, flailing about, and he's a small guy.
Okay, he's a filmmaker. He knows. No more short people in the movies. Okay, coming up. Want to work out on marijuana? A pot-friendly gym next. Finally, potheads can lift something other than the remote. A pot-friendly gym is set to open in San Francisco, where people will be encouraged to get high while working out. It's called Power Plant Fitness. Marijuana entrepreneur Jim McAlpin is opening it with help from former NFL running back Ricky Williams. Customers will be able to both smoke weed at the gym as well as purchase it. There's a few other differences compared to a normal gym. The steam room will be replaced with a hot box. The water fountains will pump Mountain Dew, and the treadmills will never be used. McAlpin says, quote, if you use it right, cannabis takes the things you love and lets you love them more. With fitness that can help you get into the zone, into the eye of the tiger mode. Wow, that's pretty intense. Jimmy, you laughed at all the pot jokes that I didn't get, so you must be a pot smoker.
It's not that pot smoker. I just appreciated it.
Are you a toker?
No, I'm a good audience member. I'm a good audience member. I'm like Mel Gibson at the Oscars. You know, Mel was really into every joke. He was the best sport of the night, by the way.
He had that frozen smile on his face.
This is where I'm in favor of this. I like the fact that, because weed makes people antisocial, and I like that at the gym, because I hate talking to people in the gym. Like, most of my cardio is avoiding people I know that I don't want to see, and like walking around and stuff like that. So I'd be in favor of it for that reason. But to the munchy stuff, like, that's going to be annoying. You're going to be drinking a smoothie, and they're going to be like, can I work in?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Michael, you work out a lot.
Yes.
Is Jimmy right?
This is psychotic, because if you smoke a lot of weed, it's going to increase your estrogen. So not only are you going to be harder to put on muscle mass, you're going to get what they call, you're going to have to bleep me, where the men have like fat deposit in their chest, so it looks terrible.
Is that all that comes from smoking a little of the Mary Jane?
Yeah, well, if you're going to be encouraged to smoke while you're at the gym, you're probably doing it while you're home also. So this is just absolute nonsensical, and cardio is a waste of time.
Cardio is a waste of Jill. Yeah. But what about the pot in the workout? What do you think?
Well, okay. My understanding of a gym is that you probably shouldn't be under the influence. If you're lifting heavy things over your head, if you're doing the tricep workout, you don't want to drop the weight on your skull. So I'm thinking maybe you shouldn't work out under
unsafe. Safety reasons. Is that it?
If you've got a certain tolerance, it's definitely less disorienting than alcohol. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It'd be way better for people in hardcore workouts or people that take a beating like in the NFL to have a little marijuana, whether it's smoked, vaped, or ingested in another way, than these horrible painkillers that mask
100%.
injuries.
100%.
Makes sense. Okay, let's go down the whole panel and thank everybody. Very special thanks to Jill Dobson. Jill Dobson. Jill Dobson.
I like this.
And finally, Jill Dobson.
This just feels right.
Thank you so much. I'm Tom Shalhoub. Good night.